All right, YouTube, we need to talk. Now, I was on the fence so if I wanted to make a video like this or not, but I think that it's time. Now that I have some type of engagement and I have a community and I have a few people that's following what's going on. And I think that the transition of me coming from different social media apps coming onto here, I had a different idea and a different perspective of how I wanted to tackle this and grow my community and start to have the engagement that I was looking forward to. But things have changed. And the reason why it's changed is because I've had a deep dive into what YouTube is. Now, I started off as a watcher, like most of us do. We get on YouTube, we view things, whether we look for entertainment, looking to learn something, or just looking to kill time before we go to sleep or in between bathroom breaks, putting the kids down, whatsoever. Thing is, now that I know a thing or two, I think I need to take a step back and I want to talk to you guys more intimate and one-to-one and just get some things in perspective, let you know what the direction of the show is and the direction that I plan to go. Unlike my other videos that if you've been following me, they're interview based. I have someone up in the camera with me or I'm doing a quick commentary on something I learned in YouTube. This one's going to be a little bit different, and I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you get something out of it, and I hope that you understand why I'm making it. So I'll get into all that in a few seconds, but the first thing first is I'm not going to be doing any edits. So if I stumble, if I have some ums, if I'm looking around, it's just what it's going to be. But I feel like this one needs to be authentic in order for us to move forward so I can get the point across so I could do this for you guys. And in return, you guys could support what I'm trying to do to get the point across out there into society and the community and what we call YouTube. If you haven't been following me and you're new to this, what's up? I go by Twist, government name Tyreek. I'm from Harlem, New York, born and raised. Spent a little time in Brooklyn, Brownsville. I'm 35 years old as of date of this video. And what I do inside society is I'm a human service worker. I started off being a case manager. Then I quickly became a housing specialist. Now I'm a mental health specialist. And I am currently in my master's for social work. So hopefully I'll be a social worker in the next year or so. And if not, I might be a therapist. I'm not sure which way I want to go yet. But I love working with the youth. I'm very good with the adolescents. But I'm also good with giving advisory and giving out information. Not sure if I'm well at taking information on my own. But let's cut all the boring stuff. So I think it's time for us to have a talk. And during this video, I'm just going to explain to you what I thought I was going to do, and now I'm going to tell you what I'm actually going to do. So let's not bore you any further. So a little about me, when we're not talking about what I do in profession, I like to be a goof off, I like to joke, I like to pop stuff, so I got to watch my words, I don't want to get, this video messed up, but I do use a lot of profanity. I'm trying to learn how to wash my mouth with that. I love a good time. I like to go out. I like to drink. I don't smoke. I do love a good beverage though. I used to be a fitness person, but then I fell off with that. But I also got a video with one of the brothers. His name is Seth, so he picked me up. So if you see my man tits out here right now, I'm trying to get that back into perspective. I'm into fashion, of course. I'm from Harlem. When I first started out, I didn't have hair, and now I got braids. The reason why I got a do-rag on right now is because it's actually 4 in the morning and I was up, I was doing my homework, and then I was just surfing YouTube like I normally do, and I decided, you know what, it's time for me to make this video. So the reason, let me back up. Going back into a little bit about what I like to do, like I said, I'm a goof. I love a good beverage. I love just chatting with people, chatting it up, laughing, joking. I go out often. I now became like a half part-time homebody, and the other time I spend just traveling around. I've been to a lot of states in the last, I want to say 2-3 years. If you don't know me in real life, I just had like a few deaths. Like my My father had passed away 2 years ago. Before that, my sister had passed. And before that, my brother had passed. And I had a few scares with cancer, not for myself, but for my mom. She had breast cancer. She beat it, and then it came back. We're working on that as we speak. So that's a little bit of like my some personal stuff. Other than that, like I'm a daredevil. I'm a risk taker. Love jumping into stuff. I'm an introvert slash extrovert. So depending on the crowd or depending on how I'm feeling, I'll indulge. If not, like I wouldn't give too much. So it's like it's one of those. If you call me like, yo, Twist, yo, you want to get up? I'm over here. I might be like, It might act like I got a whole bunch of stuff going on when I really have a bunch of nothing. I'm probably just in the house stuffing myself with chips and cheeseburgers and juice or whatever. So that's a little bit about me. I'm pretty much, I used to be very outgoing and just like living reckless, going all crazy. That was in my 20s. And now I'm like, prime time 30s. Like, as soon as I hit my 30s, I decided, you know what, I'm going to just take a change. But what never changed was I was always in school. I was always big on the education. That's just something that my family was always big on. Always just said, no matter what you do, just make sure that you have those papers that's going to keep you inside of the rat race. Because obviously, if you watch me on the camera, I am from a culture of diversity where it's a darker descent. And sometimes it could be a little bit challenging for us. So we were always taught to make sure no matter what we do, make sure that you have those papers to back you up. So you could definitely have a chance in the workforce. The other side of it is definitely was in the streets. I got that part of life too. But that's not what we're going to be on the camera for. So that's a little bit about me. I'll be unraveling more throughout. And the reason why I'm telling you a little bit about me right now, I don't have it in no formation. There was no intro. There was no breakdown of how, I'm supposed to do this. You know how YouTube is. You know how, like, we got to have that whole thing to gravitate you in. I'm freelancer right now because the real reason is I feel like I need to take a step back. And I had to let you guys know who I am. I felt like I wanted to let you guys know what I'm about and also why I'm actually here on YouTube. So now that I got a little bit about myself out, I'm going to start telling you about what I plan for this channel. So first, what I had planned was to do what I do best. I like to laugh, I like to joke, I like to interact with people, and I also like to educate myself. So I was on Spotify, and I also was on underground apps. Some of them I'll mention later on inside of the episodes, but for right now, I was pretty popular in those. But there is a side to where it's like Spotify was pretty good for me. Take some water. Now, Spotify was dope because when I got on that, I wasn't by myself. I actually had co-hosts with me. It started off with two of us. It was a brother named Jay Rogers, and then after that we had a sister named Jason Said come up, and then a little later after that was a sister named Kima. But because of my style of doing things when it comes to like the creative ways, like I guess it was taking a different direction. They had so much great information and so much things that they want to do as far as content, but it was more like conflict in the schedule and then the creation of like how we wanted to get things off the floor. So it was a mix of both. So I decided that I was going to take a step back from that, and I actually wasn't going to do anything at all. I was just going to focus on school and focus on life. But I still wanted to do something. I don't know, for some reason I just felt like that wasn't it. So, I in good grace, I did contact all of the co-hosts, and I let them know, like, hey, so I'm going to start doing, like, a solo venture and just see how it goes. And, I'll just probably revisit that situation. No harm, no foul. I believe they're still up and running. But, I was on Spotify with that, and it did pretty good. And it's still doing pretty good. I've been on Spotify for about 2-3 years now. They switched up the monetization, the requirements. So, like, when I was approved for the program, let me say when we were approved for the program, I decided to leave the show. So I'm pretty sure that they got that going on. You can follow them. It's called the Kickback Podcast. It's on Spotify. Very good content, very good material. Most of the direction with those episodes was more relationship based, but we was going into different areas. And then I started my own Spotify for podcasters channel, which did very well because a lot of you guys, if you follow me here too, you guys were supporting me. You guys kept the show going, and I was monetized within a good 2-3 months. I don't make a lot there anymore. Here's why: because I decided to venture out and come to YouTube, which brings me here. So I always wanted to be a YouTuber. Since YouTube was younger and we would watch them, what are they called? Them cat, the cat little contents, and when viral was nothing, it was just like your video blows up, whatever the case may be. Like, so I was always interested in, like, I want to be on YouTube. But back then, like, I was still on the streets. Like, I was chasing girls and smoking weed and getting drunk and cutting school. That's how far back it goes. This is water. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So, my cousin at the time, like, he was a YouTuber. He was pretty big. He had a lot of big videos. Bigger BX, he was on an episode of mine. You could check that out. It's on YouTube. And, we started shooting a GIF, but I always watch everything that he was doing. I was like, one day. So, I started venturing off and other things, went to school, got my act together, grew up, blah, blah, blah. Now, here it is, and, the late 2020s, I decided, I want to give YouTube a shot. If I could do Spotify, I could do YouTube. So, me coming on to YouTube was different. I came on as just a watcher, and I just thought about, like, what would somebody want to watch if they were into mental health? Because that's my domain. So I decided that was going to be the niche. And, I took everything that I was already doing. I had material, lots and lots of material. I already had interviews lined up. So all I did was just let them know, like, hey, we're going to have this on YouTube, and I'll still put the episodes on Spotify, but it's going to be more geared towards YouTube. And what I understood is that YouTube is still new to podcasters. But if you don't have a name already and you gravitate into YouTube, then it might be a little hard. I am not huge inside social media. In fact, most of my social media apps, they were private for a long time. I just started podcasting, like I said, 2-3 years ago, and then, like, I kind of brought it to, like, the broader stages. So, like, a lot of people on those apps, they stay on those apps, but they do follow. And then I came up here, and I went about it so many ways. But let me tell you about, before I lose touch and, like, we drag out. So, how I was going to go about it was just do podcasting, because that's what I wanted to do. So I wanted to do podcast, like, spotlighting mental health, but in an interview base. So I would have, like, individuals from all walks. I would have rappers, I would have singers, I would have authors, I'll have musicians, any genre. I'll have marketing strategists, and I've had that. I've had success just getting those interviews. Some of them I was fans of. Some of them I met along the way, just being on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and being a supporter of their channels. And I asked them, like, hey, I got this thing going, boiling up. You want to give me a chance to, like, interview you? Like, I'd love to get your good side. And, they let me do it. And most of them, they, it happened right away. Some of them, it took a little time. If you are paying attention to it, if you do catch some of those interviews that's already up, they were pre-recorded. It's because I was trying to figure out how to do the edits. A lot of my videos, just starting out, I was doing audio, so me doing video, I don't have any editing skills. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to do the things. So most of it, if you look at my earlier videos, they was trash. Like, I should have just threw them out, but I was just excited to be on video and excited to have the people on with me that I continue to do it. Now, what I'm understanding about having a mental health niche is that's a challenge. So I picked one of the hardest niches that you could find out there, especially for YouTube. I've done research and research and research as I double back and realized that like nobody wants to talk about mental health, although everybody wants to talk about mental health. If you get what I'm saying, a lot of people, we all suffer from it in some shape or form. We all have it. We all have traumas. We all have triggers. We all get anxiety for something. But that comes off as therapeutic and very clinical. So when I'm doing the research and I'm typing in keywords for mental health, just trying to see like what other niches is out there, what other people are talking, what I quickly learned was this is a very hard niche to have on YouTube for the simple fact it's boring and it sounds very clear, clinical, like you're sitting in someone's chair and they'll just tell me about your life. And how does that make you feel? Oh, that must be very frustrating. Tell me about your childhood. So, like, after a while, like, those repetitive conversations sound trash. Even for me. I've done therapy in my life, and I just don't think I would want to have it on camera and just, like, talk about all the stuff that makes me, like, arise in, like, the negative way for me to start getting better with myself. Anxieties and, just depression and being suicidal. I wasn't suicidal, but suicidal ideations. These are just areas that people talk about when we talk about mental health, and it's not funny. But I also feel like being in the field, like it should have some type of substance. It should make you want to gravitate to it and want to listen to it. But most of the people that I've seen try to cover it, most of those channels are like from 8 years ago, 9 years ago, when YouTube was a baby years ago. And the most recent ones was like probably like 2 years ago. And through all of those numbers that I just named, they're all dead channels. They're all dead channels. Start off great, giving great information, giving great material, getting very therapeutic, deep dive in it. Like you probably would learn something, but I guess it died off. And the reason why is because mental health, therapy, counseling, social work, that is a very broad umbrella. And it falls under the human services. Now, I won't bore you with that because that's not where I'm going. That we could talk about it every day. But I'm talking about is levels to it to the point that you have to dig. And I think that like people get on YouTube to learn something, but not that deep. You try to get on it to escape that. So I thought coming in, I would probably go about it just interview style and interviewing people from all over and just freelance it, and it'll be fun. I mean, at least that's what I thought. But I also, as I learned, this niche is not something, although it's very important and it's imperative to learn in life, on YouTube, it's actually more levels to this. And the levels that I found out quickly was that, oh shit, all right, my bad, I had to take a shit. Where was I? Yes, so once I decided that like I was going to jump into being a YouTube creator, I had to really figure out that not only was my niche a challenge niche, and not only was this a niche that nobody really was checking for, and let me correct that because like there is mental health channels that are actually thriving, but they're podcasts. But these are podcasts, when I cross-reference it and compare and contrast it, they actually are thriving on other apps. And I'm not talking about the, catch my podcast on all platforms that surround the podcast. I'm talking about they've been around for a while, like they top dogs. So, they're doctors and like they have PhDs, they wrote books, like you see them on TV. Those are the only ones that are thriving, or like, the main one, TED Talks. But anybody who's like an underdog like myself that's like trying to talk about mental health and you have little to no brand, or you don't have no engagement, no interactions, nobody know you, you basically going to start off and you're not going to make it. I did see some who started around the same time as me, and they were in life, you can tell that they were seasoned. For those of you who don't know what seasoned means, is that like they've been inside of their work environment for a long period of time with the skills. But when they come on YouTube and they try to pop that stuff, and ain't nobody was really listening. You know, just like red eyes, clear eyes. You know, you remember the guy with the eye drops? Stuff like that. So this is what I learned about YouTube. So as I started becoming a YouTuber, and now this has been 4 months that I'm into this. Like I actually doubled back. Now if you go and you search my channel, you will see that I had a YouTube page for over a year. So back then I thought that I wanted to be a rapper, and I was pretty good at that. And I'll get into that another time. But as quickly as I thought that I was going to start a YouTube back then, I quickly stopped out. But I started the YouTube page like a year ago, but I was rapping years ago, and I thought I was just going to put my music up. But then I stopped it, discontinued it, and then when I felt that I was going to be a content creator on YouTube and have a YouTube channel, that's when I brought it back. So I really started being a YouTube person for 4 months ago. Now, when I first started, like I said, I did Spotify, I did all of that, and I thought that, you know, that's what I was going to do. Just come up here, do my podcast thing. I was going to have my way. Everything was going to be doing good. You know, Spotify showed me love. The other apps were showing me love, and I think that I'm doing pretty good. But when I came on YouTube thinking like, yo, I could just get on here and talk and do my thing, this is when I realized that YouTube is its own beast in itself. So, like, if you're a small YouTuber or you're a person that's just starting out and you catch this, I want you to know that, like, if you caught this, like, if you caught this and you were watching, like, YouTube just scrolling around, and then you caught that YouTube is in easy mode type of stuff, or YouTube is making it easy for people to become monetized in 30 days, if you caught that before this video, trust me, now that you here, I'm letting you know, that's cap. That is super cap. Now, I'm not going to say that it does not have some type of easy mode, because the easy mode thing is that, like, everybody's talking about the same shit. So at the end of the day, YouTube is pushing it in the algorithm. So everybody's jumping on those trends and those bandwaves, like jumping on that bandwagon that, you know, it's just in your face. You know, how to get monetized in a day, like 30-day challenges, easy mode, you know, finding your niche, and like all them how-tos, etc., etc. Them things that's advisory, not knocking them, but yes, like in some way, YouTube is an easy mode if you're doing content like this, and you just know how to, like, you know, get in front of the camera and use the same titles as people. But that's another story, and I'll leave that for everybody else out there. But from what I was learning from it is that it's not an easy mode, and this shit is not easy. The reason why I'm up like almost 4 or 5 in the morning giving you this video is because, besides homework, doing research and trying to figure out how I could be effective and engage with the community that I have and get more engagement, is research. You got to research what's out there. You got to research what type of niche you want. You got to research what you want to talk about next. You got to figure out who your audience is there. And what I learned is that there's no right or wrong way to YouTube, but there is definitely a middle ground to where it's like it can be right or it can be wrong. And if you haven't followed that, what I mean is that, like, there's so many ways that you could go viral. There's so many ways that you could blow up. But there's so many ways that you also can mess up. And you probably feel like you're not even getting nowhere. And most YouTubers that start out like myself, and they just starting out and they don't know anything about YouTube, they don't know anything about editing or anything about those the algorithms or terminology, you're gonna find yourself in a frenzy where you're gonna be feeling like before you even get to where you're supposed to, you're gonna give up. For the simple fact, nobody tells you that you can't just get on the camera and press record and then start talking. You can get on the camera and just start talking. However, once you press stop, you got to get to work. It's a whole formula to that. You can't just post it up and think that it's going to go somewhere. First of all, we could go on for days about how that is. I mean, I did one video that was just explaining that YouTube is not an easy mode, and that's a trend in itself. But I wanted to go against the grain And there's not a lot of people that's willing to go against the grain because they want those views. So they want to give you whatever is going to catch and gravitate you to continue watching. It is so much stuff to this YouTube thing that I had no idea about. The people who are big YouTubers, they've been doing this for years. And then it should have made sense because I was watching some of them for years. Small YouTubers, however, people are born every day, channels up every day. Sometimes they thrive, sometimes they die. There are a lot of small YouTubers right now that are becoming mid-tier tubers, and I'll get into that in another video too. But that's what I was learning about it. So the whole thing, just to wrap that part up, is it's a whole science. Don't get up here and let people trick you out your spot. Don't listen to the trends. Take whatever you could take out of it, but make it your own, because just like everything, trends die, and you'll be out here wearing the same clothes that you had on last year, and everybody else is on a whole new situation, and they gonna be like, bro, nobody's even checking for that now. What you got? You know? If you want to look at it like in another way, YouTube is like that one-hit wonder. That's what YouTube is becoming now, especially for small YouTubers. You know, you got that one-hit wonder person who made a good song, and it just went crazy inside of the streams, went crazy on TV, won awards, and they could just go coast to coast, country to country, just singing that song. Try that song 2-3 years later, and then they're gonna be like, you know, what other song you got? Like, that's all you had. Like, some of us, you know, that might be a wrong analogy because there are songs that's just classics off that one hit, but there's many to where that one hit wonder, you know, people's not even checking for you after that. It's like, we heard that song 1,000 times. Next, anyway, as a small YouTuber coming into YouTube, and I've been here 4 months, and I've watched people who been here probably a little less than I have, going harder, and they became monetized. I want to give a clap to them because there's a lot of small YouTube channels that I actually do watch, and they did their thing. They did their thing. And I'm the type of person, if you know me, I like to see people win. I don't worry about what the next person is doing in a way to where it's like I'm not congratulating them. I'm praying on their downfall. I'm actually like, you know what, I probably gotta step my game up, or, you know, whatever, like that's working for them, but that's not me. So like, my time will come, because I'm not giving up. And like, we could sit here and we could lie and act like the idea is not to be monetized. Like, this is a passion for me to engage and like interact with people. I don't look to be famous, but in some way, if I'm putting myself out there, I am looking for some type of reaction. So I guess I learned that YouTube is not for me. The content is what I do, but the information and the things that I put out is for you. But at the end of the day, we can all sit here and lie, but I'm just doing this for fun. This is not for fun. I want to get monetized. I want the bag too. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I do. And I don't know how big the bag will be, but eventually I might get one. But for now, I got to stay where I'm at, you know, stay small, and I got to learn. And what I learned is that, like I told you, there's no right or wrong way, but there's a lot of avenues. There's a lot of avenues. So I encourage you to continue to watch those how-tos. Find your favorite how-to content creator. Find other people that's actually thriving. And I'm not talking about the big ones. The big ones, you're not there. That's going to take some money. That's going to take leverage. That means don't be trying to follow Mr. Beast and all his peoples, because they got all that up there. In the middle, it's the same shit. You want to be down here with us. And down here with us, there are people that are like this, but they're like this down here. So you want to listen to them and figure out what they got going on that's working for them, that's helping their algorithm, that's helping them. Because the smaller ones, I'm going to keep it tall with you, they're going to give you the juice to actually get somewhere higher. And once you get higher, you can worry about what it is to hire. When they're talking about, I could go viral in one day, I could give you a short to like do all this. All of that's wait your turn. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But that's what I learned about it. I also learned is that from being a watcher versus being a content creator was there's actually a change in how things work in YouTube. See, when I first thought about YouTube, I thought it was just like how the other social media apps is. It's like for follow, and you know, you follow me, I support you, you support me. Now that is the case in some ways, because you do have some YouTubers out there who that's like how they engage, that's how they get their community. But there are some from like the old school to where that's not how it goes. Like, I do me and you do you, and don't copy me and I won't copy you. So there's two sides of YouTube that I'm learning. You got the old school side where, you know, people don't want you to copy. They will expose you for copying. They will demise you for copying. They will demise you for they will demise you just for like watching their content but not following. But then there's the newer YouTube, which like this is my class of YouTube, where people are encouraging to be a part of their communities, being a part of their society. Some of them even got some like teams, you know, like Chris Brown got the Breezes, Beyonce got the Beehive. In YouTube, you have communities where people have them. Like, I don't know what I'm calling mine yet, the Twisties or the Twistlers, and you know, I'm still building, but I am a part of communities that I actually enjoy what they do, and I like the engagement, and they actually encourage you to go venture out and follow other people, not subscribe to them, but like them. And if you are like something resonates with you, do subscribe. They're not afraid of sharing their plate. And that's something that like I do appreciate. I've actually got to interact with some YouTubers that I actually been following for years. Some of them are now commenting on, you know, my channel and my videos. Some of them, they're interacting with me under their comments, and like now, you know, we're getting familiar with each other in this world, because I'm not just a person that's viewing. I'm now a person that's a part of it. So it's different. And like for me, I don't like to look at people as competition, but if it is some competition, which everything in life some kind of way is, let it be friendly. Like I'm not trying to get in your way. Don't get it mine. I'm trying to be in a way together. But that's what I'm learning about the two different sections. So now that I learned all of that, I do have a video that's gonna be dropping soon that I'm gonna be letting you guys know like what I plan to do, but I'm just gonna touch on it a little bit. Is like, you know, since we had to have this talk, to be honest, I decided that, you know, I'm gonna take a break from doing content. But I'm gonna have content that's rolling, because I do have interviews, and I do have videos like this that's pre-recorded that is going to drop, but it's going to be stuff that like I didn't have recorded. Like I recorded this today, and it's going to drop today, or probably like in the next few hours when I'm putting it up, because it's not going to have no editing. The only pieces when I had to go use the bathroom, so I had to cut the camera off. But like most of the videos is just going to keep you watching. But I'm taking a trip. So I took a trip as a watcher, and I took a trip just to see what YouTube is like, and it was for research. But this time when I take the trip, it's not for research. It's actually to get familiar more with what YouTube has to offer, the different sides of YouTube, so I could talk to you more about YouTube, but also so I could get familiar with how things work around here, so I could be more effective. Before I jumped off what else that I learned, I forgot to mention this. Not just the people who want community and stuff. I'm realizing that YouTube is actually going back to that old school essence. You know, that grandfather thing that they used to do back in the day, when people could sit in their car and they could just vlog from right there. No fancy equipment, no, you know, crazy tech and all the movie cinematic stuff. You could just put it on and you could be authentic. So that's why I decided to tell you guys a little bit more about myself. Make a video like this so you guys could like feel that, like, you know, I'm just not making interviews and stuff, but I'm not even interacting, because I feel like that's how YouTube started. Like interacting, people getting on and just you know, shooting a gift with you. And as time go on, you know, they graduate to like different levels. And that's what I messed up at. And that's why I'm making this too. So for the future of YouTube and me, what I plan to do is, like I said, I'm going to do a deep dive and start meeting some people, becoming associated, making friends, whatever. My niche is so challenging that like I'm not going to drop it. I love a challenge, so you know what? I'm not dropping it. I am going to be still doing those interviews with anybody and everybody. And if you're a YouTuber, shoot, even if you just are watching, you want to come up one day, I feel like everybody has something to say. Come on up. I don't care. Or just watch. But I am still going to be doing interviews. This year, I have some people that I'm going to be conducting interviews with that are not just regular people in society. They actually are like in the music industry. Some of them are actors, and they are pretty up there. No, it's not Will Smith or Jay-Z's. I wish, but they are people that you could recognize them from movies, or you could recognize them from TV shows or music videos. Depending on what music you're into, they are somebody's inside of social media. So I have a lot of that going on. As far as just the interviews, that's going to stay that way. But I'm also going to do some vlogging. I always wanted to do that, and like it seems like that's what everybody's interacting with. When I did the easy mode video, that got a lot of responses. But no, I'm going to be doing a lot of vlogging, and I'm going to be doing some more videos like this so I can interact and be in the community. I want to go live, but I'm trying to figure out what I want to talk about when I go live. I don't know yet. You can let me know in the comments if you catch this. I'm also going to be doing like some interactions where I'm going to be doing collaborations with other YouTubers. I already have a lot of that set up. That's going to be fun. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do it like in person or we'll do it virtually, but we're going to make it work, and it's going to be fun. I'm talking to people from all over the continent, and it's fun. I'm also going to be doing some story time. Now, I'm an introvert, and I'm very secretive. And there's some stuff that, like, unless you was there, you wouldn't know the story. But I think as Tom says, some of the stuff is in past tense. Like, I did have a very interesting life growing up. I did do a lot of interesting shit. A lot of stuff, like, I am probably going to have to get consent to talk about it. Others, like, I feel like it's my right to talk about it. And then some, I'm just going to have to take to the grave. So I got to see what type of stories I'm going to bring to you. But we could talk about some stuff about my exes and like when I was having orgy parties and threesomes and getting fucked up, waking up on the train or the train tracks, like getting high and waking up in the hospital, school, shit like that, like anything. Like I got some shit. You know, I lived a little bit. I'm also going to be doing YouTube content like I did. Like I was getting into like when I did the easy mode thing, you know, jumping into some YouTube trends and like, you know, giving that information that was received well. I'm still playing with the algorithms and playing with like, you know, what kind of niches like works, because to be honest, I know that people say like you need just one niche and you got to stick to that and that be your core audience. I'm not putting myself in a box. I like vlogging, I like eating, I like doing like pranks, I like to do all sorts of shit, and I also like to do like serious stuff when it comes to education. And I feel like you can have more than one niche, but you still got to be you. As long as you have a little bit of you in it, you know, it could go a long way. I just, now that I understand YouTube a little bit more, there's going to be some stuff that people are going to gravitate to more than they're going to gravitate to the other. So depending on what I'm putting out, I do understand that the views will probably be like 20 to nothing. Whereas other videos that I throw up will skyrocket from like 300 views to 1,000. So I'm starting to see like what works and what doesn't. But for me, I think everything works. It's just like, you know, whatever video I put up, if it's not for you at that time, it's not for you. But it's for someone out there. Even if it's for the 1 or 2 people that viewed it, or that 3 or 4 people that liked it, that was for them. It probably wasn't for you. So I'll have my core audience, and I'll have like just some people stopping by. So if you've been following me already, I want to say thank you for helping me. At first I wasn't sure how this was going to go out. I wasn't sure. It was like, cause the video that's going to come out, I was kind of happy when I reached about 2K followers, but I had mixed feelings about that, and I was on the fence, and I just felt like I did feel like giving up. Like, you know what, YouTube probably isn't for me. Maybe God doesn't want me to get monetized, or he doesn't want me to do this. and you know, I was just gonna go back to Spotify. But behind the scenes, there are supporters, there are content creators like myself, high and low, who's just been giving me that encouragement, and it brought me back to those fundamentals as you don't know who's watching. And there was people out there that I had no idea that actually was paying attention to what I was doing. And now that I know that, like, you know, there are people that actually do care about it and not just want to have you follow the trends, and they do want me to talk about other things, that's what I'm going to explore. So thank you out there, whether you was a person that just supported me because you knew me in real life, or you found me on here and you decided you want to continue this journey with me. I'm going to continue giving you that stuff. For the people who are just getting in with me, I hope this video gave you a little brief about me, but it wasn't enough, and there's going to be some more that I'm going to put out there. So follow me and walk with me and get to know me. For everyone that caught this video, I encourage you to check out some of my videos that I made previously. You can leave a comment if it resonates. I encourage you to please like it so it could be put out in the algorithm and other people can enjoy it. If you just want to watch me going forward, I appreciate that too, and I'll continue to make this content. So for the future, sorry I burped. So for the future of this video, expect to have like some high-tech stuff or whatever technology I can learn how to utilize. I'm still learning. And also expect to have some stuff where we just communicating and we talking. So either way, we'll be communicating. And jump in my community, you know, say hi to me that way. If you are a supporter and you don't have a content creation background and you just like to watch things, leave in the comments, leave me an email, tell me some stuff that you might want to see me cover. If you are my fellow YouTuber, small or higher, you got some points for me, let me know. Or just stop by and say what's up. Let me know that you stopped by, you saw the video, as I do with you guys. All right, that's my time. I'm out.